welcome to All Steelers Talk, your home for everything Pittsburgh Steelers, presented by allsteelers.com. Hello and welcome, beautiful people, to a Thursday playoff. We are so close to Sunday, Wildcard edition of All Steelers Talk. We're your host, Noah Strackbine, joined every Tuesday and Thursday by my main man, Donnie Droon. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/allsteelerstalk and use that promo code. 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. That's anything you purchase at manscaped.com. Just use the promo code AllSteelers. Also, when we hit 1K subscribers, which we're getting real close, we're giving away a signed Deontay Johnson jersey. Exciting stuff. But Donnie, that is not the biggest news of the day. The biggest news of the day is in the wide receiver room by the name of JuJu Smith-Schuster, who returned to practice after what was believed to be a season-ending shoulder surgery after a shoulder injury in Week 5 against the Denver Broncos. But he's back. There's optimism. Did you see it coming? What were your thoughts when it happened?
First of all, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. It's another beautiful day here in North Phoenix. I made a t-shirt yet again. The weather here is just immaculate. I don't know about you guys.
Sweatshirt indoors. So it's raining. It's raining snow right now. That's not even an exaggeration. It's actually raining snow. That's the thing.
I was shocked to see JuJu and his name pop up on basically everybody's Twitter profiles today, tweeting about the news. I didn't see it coming because whenever Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, say you're out for the year, you're out for the year. I don't even think you can come back after Big Shefty tweets that out. So for JuJu to be back at practice, now granted, they still have to designate him for return from IR, right? Have they officially done that yet?
No, he's just in like that 21-day practice window. So if they don't come back this week.
So if you designate a player from return from IR, you have 21 days in order to either activate him, right?
Yeah.
Or he could return pretty much any time before that.
That gives them right up until the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so that's really good. Well, no, he can come back. Like if they could activate him like today, and he can still.
No, yeah. But their last day would be right before the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's a dream, by the way. Big news. Big news. Because for JuJu to come back, especially with the news of Najee Harris that we'll talk about here in a little bit, you're going to need somebody. And you're going to need somebody on the Steelers offense to step up and make plays. And I feel like JuJu's entire career has been stepping up and making big plays for the Steelers. In a time where Chase Claypool hasn't exactly stepped up to the plate like you wanted him to. In a time where Deontay Johnson has been kind of reeling, coming down a little bit off of the superb performances we've seen him make this year. It's JuJu time. It's looking like JuJu time. This team needs him now more than ever. And you know what? I know the odds and basically everybody's pointing to a Kansas City Chiefs blowout. No, I don't know if you saw, but Nick Wright from Fox Sports suggested that the Kansas City Chiefs sit Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce because, quote, playing the Steelers is almost as good as having a bye week in the wild card round.
Did you hear him say that he believes that Ben Roethlisberger and Mike Tomlin were hoping that the Raiders and the Chargers tied so that they'd miss the playoffs? Those words came out of his mouth.
That's a joke.
Nick Wright's a joke. I'm not even afraid to say it. Nick Wright's a joke.
He is. Unfortunately, a lot of those guys you see on TV making millions of dollars, by the way, are indeed a joke. Shifting back to JuJu, though, I don't know whether or not he'll play. I think that will largely be determined by the last day of practice, which will be tomorrow on Friday. But the fact that JuJu is even practicing at the moment, even entertaining coming back for one last game with big number 7, respect. There's a lot of things you can say about JuJu, and I'm sure you're about to get into those right now. A lot of things you can say about him. One thing you can't say about him, though, is the dude wants to come back. He wants to work. He's been putting in the work to come back, grinding silently, because I've seen nothing about him working out, rehabbing at all on the social media, doing the dirty work behind the scenes, and the slightest chance to make a comeback on Sunday. You can't take anything away from that dude.
I did not even think about the Ben Roethlisberger aspect of this. Like, that's his guy. That's Juju is Ben's guy. Ben is Juju's guy. He's the reason that he came back to Pittsburgh. I didn't even think about that. That's huge. And you're right. With Najee Harris in question, this is as good of an offensive move as the Pittsburgh Steelers can get. It creates such a difference in the middle of the field. And don't get me wrong, like, for as much as we bash Ray McCloud has earned every ounce of everyone's respect from here on out, just because of what he did in one game against the Baltimore Ravens. Juju was such an upgrade in the middle of the field and such an upgrade at slot. And then Deontay Johnson, after practice, he literally said, he's like, yeah, he looks like he's ready to play. So to me, that leaves a lot of optimism for Sunday. I don't know if you bring him back now, unless he is under 50%, maybe under 60%. I think you have to play JuJu Smith-Schuster. At least activate him, like have him as an option. What are you going to do? Is like the fourth inside linebacker that you're going to keep on the field is Zach Banner a better option than having JuJu Smith-Schuster available just in case? I think that at this point, if he's there and he's good enough to practice, which he was at practice, Tomlin wouldn't give us a clear availability, but he was there. He was running with the teams. If he's good enough to do that, I don't see how you hold him out on Sunday. Even if he doesn't start, I don't see how you hold him out on Sunday.
Even if he's 50% too, like, you need to throw everything you can, including the kitchen sink at the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they're playing at home at Arrowhead. They got Patty Mahomes. They have Tyreek Hill. They have Travis Kelce. Like, that offense can boom for 40 points in the snap of a finger. You need all of the offensive weapons you possibly can get. And Juju that is perhaps your biggest weapon of all, including a healthy Najee Harris as well. But, like, here's the thing, though. Does Juju play? Like, it is. I understand that the team's medical staff working for the Steelers will probably clear him if he's able to play, just because they need him. They'll give him whatever that dude needs to get in order to get on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But you also got to understand, he's a free agent going into next year. The salary cap is shooting way up. But this is the offseason that man is going to get paid. Should something happen to that shoulder, that payday can go away, bro. That payday can go away. But I think, to reflect on my earlier point, I don't think Juju's thinking about that. I think Juju's like, I need one more game with 7. I need to come back. This team's in the playoffs. Nobody gave us a chance. Nobody gave us a chance to make the playoffs. Now that we're here in the postseason, I need to come back. I need to at least show that I care about this team and I want to win. And you know what? If a 50 or 60% Juju being out there makes us a better team, which it does, then I need to be out there.
Yeah, I don't think that was brought to my attention during practice. Somebody said, yeah, well, what if he hurts his shoulder again? What if he hurts his shoulder at practice? I'm like, I don't think that's on Juju's mind at all. Juju wants to get paid, as everybody else wants to get paid. But he's the ultimate competitor. And that's something that you could have an issue with his social media. You could have an issue with his antics, dancing on logos, whatever. It doesn't matter. Juju is the ultimate competitor, and he's going to remain the ultimate competitor. That's why the Pittsburgh Steelers love him. I think to that point, this could be a tryout for him. This could be Juju's. I mean, everybody says and will say, what if he goes out and gets hurt? What if he goes out and catches 2 touchdown passes and the Steelers win? If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're looking at JuJu Smith-Schuster now, and you're saying there's no way he's walking away in free agency where we're making an offer. And it's going to be a big offer. I think it's a tryout for him as well.
If I'm an NFL GM and I'm watching that game, and I see a dude who is putting his body on the line for his team to go win a playoff game, those 3 kind of dudes are one on my team. I am going to want to pay you.
Yeah. Dudes who could come back from injury and succeed are easy money for a GM. Joey, 100%. 100%. Yes, that's all you're looking to do. That's all the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking to do. They could care less. And JuJu Smith-Schuster, can care less. All he wants to do is go out and win a playoff game, especially after last season, especially after the way that this season turned out. I mean, you can't act like he wasn't super disappointed to walk into the season, have all these expectations, be that guy, try to compete for a contract, and then get hurt 5 weeks into the season, really turn this season into a bust. Now it's a big question mark. Now he gets an opportunity to come back. I mean, I don't know. For one, I think it can make his bag a lot bigger. He could definitely get a higher contract for this.
Okay.
And two, I don't think he or anybody else in Pittsburgh should care about if he's going to get hurt again. If he's medically cleared to play, he's medically cleared to play. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, I get that they're an NFL team and they're going to clear people maybe with a little leeway because they want to win an NFL game, especially in the playoffs. But it's not going to be enough leeway to put JuJu in jeopardy. There's no way. I mean, they've held guys out for worse. And if Najee Harris, like we're going to talk about, doesn't play, that's a prime example that they're not going to let you play if you can't play if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, and so let me ask you this. Do you think JuJu coming back, even if he's at like 50 or 60%, do you like their chances a whole lot better? Like, does it drastically move the needle for you in terms of chances of them winning the game on Sunday night?
I don't know if it drastically moves the needle. I don't know if it moves the needle at all right now, but I don't know how pessimistic or how certain I am that this game is going to be a blowout. You know, I'm not that type of guy. To me, the Pittsburgh Steelers should not be in the playoffs. And that's all I've been told. That's all I have said since the beginning of the season. This is not a team for the postseason.
That's what Big Ben said. Wink.
Yeah. Well, they're here. You know what I mean? Like the Steelers, just like Ben said, they're here. They've gotten here. They've already proved so many people wrong, including myself, that I have to start believing, well, if they got here, I'm not going to say that they could win it, but I'm not going to say that they're going to get blown out. Like the 12.5 spread is ridiculous. This is a playoff game. I don't care if you are the Kansas City Chiefs or not. This is a playoff game. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been here. Ben Roethlisberger has been here. TJ Watt is the best player defensively in football. There's enough on this team to say that the needle is a lot higher, I think, than people put it or have put it. I don't know if JuJu moves that needle, but I think he certainly helps it. And I think that if he does play, maybe it does a little bit. Maybe it does. That's a big play. I mean, you need a long third down. JuJu's on the field. I feel a lot better about that situation than if JuJu's not on the field, healthy or not.
No, I completely agree with you. I think if you need a big third down catch, JuJu's going to be there. If the offense, is stalling and you need somebody to kind of get things going, JuJu's going to be there for you. My only concern is that with Najee potentially not playing, I don't really think the Steelers are going to be keen on heavily relying on a guy like Benny Snell to carry the workload at Arrowhead Stadium, which kind of might turn.
Remember that.
I'm sorry?
It's like 100% chance of snow on Sunday in Arrowhead.
Yeah, but I mean,
like heavy snow.
I've seen Ben throwing worse. I remember watching Big Ben throw a football in a hurricane in Miami. Like I cannot
wasn't the
doubt
final score of that game 3-0?
No, because he threw a touchdown pass to Hines Ward. I remember that. So like 7-0.
Oh, true. Yeah, it might have been like 6-3. I actually do think it was 6-3, if we're being honest. That was the game. That was the turf game, right? Where there was so much rain that they had to put turf on top of the turf.
I'm pretty positive I think that was whenever the Steelers played the Dolphins at home. They played Miami on the road. I think it was Big Ben's either rookie or second year in the league.
Okay, different situation. I remember that one might have been 3-0.
Regardless,
yeah,
those guys get paid to play football, rain, sleet, hail, or shine.
True.
Chiefs get paid just like the Steelers do. So you know what? And just like to my boy Joey's comments down here in the comment section, I think we've all seen enough of Ray Ray. Granted, Ray came up big.
I'm done with the Ray slander. I'm done with the Ray slander.
If we're comparing slot options between JuJu and Ray, I don't think it's a very big competition, right?
I agree with that one, but still, like Ray has done enough. Has he made mistakes? Yes. But for a guy who came in here last season, was not supposed to make the team at all, made the team, got rid of Ryan Switzer, who, if we were ever going to bag on somebody, it was Ryan Switzer. Okay, Ray is an immediate upgrade from Ryan Switzer.
I'd agree.
Came in here, and then for another season, made the team when time and time again, all we talked about was how guys were going to make it over Ray McLeod. He made the team. And then in the biggest moment of the Pittsburgh Steelers' entire regular season, you want to know who gets the ball? Ray McLeod. Twice. I'm done with the Ray slander, okay? People are going to get mad at me and think that I'm hyping him up. I don't think Ray Ray is a superstar, but I think Ray Ray is a guy that if he's coming off your bench, if he's a number 2 slot guy, I feel comfortable with him. I didn't feel comfortable with him at the beginning of the season, and I'm not saying that he's an upgrade from JuJu. If JuJu could be on the field, you put JuJu on the field. But I'm not hating on Ray Ray anymore. I'm done with the Ray Ray hate.
So JuJu, 50% or better, you're throwing him out there. He doesn't exactly move the needle a whole lot in the grand scheme of the game, but you'd rather have a guy like JuJu out there than not out there, correct?
Correct. I feel very good about JuJu, just like our boy Joey. We're loving the chat, Joey. Appreciate you. Yeah. JuJu over Ray Ray, 100%. I feel good about that. I think JuJu is a major upgrade for this offense, but I think that he has to be above 50% to play. That being said, if I had to guess right now, if JuJu is going to play, just from things I've heard, things I've seen, JuJu's playing Sunday. Okay. Yeah. And if we're going to go a little farther than that one, things I've heard, things I've seen, things I've heard more. If JuJu plays and plays well, I think it's JuJu's solidifying game that the Pittsburgh Steelers are bringing back number 19 in 2022.
I'd like to see that.
I would think we all would. I think at this point, JuJu is a prime piece, especially with Claypool being a question mark. James Washington will be gone next season. You don't have room to draft a wide receiver. You just don't. You have way too many other needs. JuJu's a guy that if you could get him, and if you could get him at a home discount, doesn't have to be a huge discount. You got to make sure he gets paid.
Yeah.
But if you could get him at a home discount, JuJu would love to stay here, and I think the Steelers would love to have him. On the other side of that.
What was that? Beat me to it. Beat me to the transition.
Oh, on the other side of that, negative news. Najee Harris still has not practiced. It's been 2 days now. He's still dealing with an elbow injury that kept him out of 3/4 of Week 18 against the Ravens. He left in the opening drive. We all saw it. At one point, CBS reported on the broadcast that he was unable to control the ball in his right arm. Came back, made the nastiest one-handed catch of all time for a running back. It was disgusting. Turned out a good game. Hasn't practiced. Mike Tomlin said tomorrow, Friday's practice, will be the determining factor. I don't know. How do you feel about Najee? Do you think there's an opportunity he plays, or do you think at this point it's the Benny Snell train?
I would like to think he plays because I'm not sure how much worse that injury could have gotten from that game to present day. Yeah. I feel like at some point the injury would have had to turn around, at least start getting better. If Najee can do what he did with one arm on Sunday, that I feel really good about him at least trying to play at Arrowhead. But I do think, kind of drawing the comparisons, we can kind of go back and forth on exactly how much of a difference a 50% JuJu is going to make for the Steelers. I don't think there's any debating. The absence or presence of Najee Harris will dictate whether or not the Pittsburgh Steelers are able to move the football on Sunday. Yeah, I mean, he has simply become that big of the game plan week in and week out, running, receiving, even sometimes, occasionally picking up blitzes as a pass pro blocker. And anything you ask him to do, he pretty much does it. And to downgrade from him to Benny Snell would work wonders for the Kansas City Chiefs defense, because that basically makes your defense and your offense for the Steelers, one-dimensional. You're going to hand the ball off to Benny Snell 20, 25 times. You're going to let him touch that ball that many times? No, you're not going to let Snell touch the ball that many times. So you turn the Steelers offense into a one-dimensional team, and we saw exactly how far that's gotten them, whether it be 2019, 2020, or 2021, whenever Najee either wasn't exactly getting going or he just simply wasn't in the game and the Steelers were down.
True. It's pretty easy. The question, does Najee Harris play and should Najee Harris play, I think are two totally different things, because the answer to should, Najee can be 25%. I mean, he was out there with one arm on Sunday. It was still a better option than Benny Snell Jr. And I think it's still a better option than any of them. People will bring up Anthony McFarland and how he hasn't done much this season. I don't think that that's any better than Benny Snell Jr. Kalen Ballage is Kalen Ballage. We've seen him in the NFL. We know what he's going to bring you. It's Najee Harris or nothing. And I think that this offense, even with JuJu, if you don't have Najee on the field on Sunday, your chances, I mean, you want to talk about moving the needle. You take Najee out of the equation, and then that needle sinks to E real quick.
Yep.
Real quick. And it's not looking good at the same time. And I don't know, this is just my opinion. At this point in the season, from what I've seen from Najee Harris, he is a veteran. He's not a rookie. He didn't come in here like a rookie. His body is not shaped like a rookie. The dude takes care of himself better than anybody I've ever seen play football. At this point, he is treated like a veteran. I think the Steelers should continue to treat him like a veteran. And because of that, I think if he doesn't practice or if he practices in a limited capacity on Friday, you still have an opportunity to play on Sunday because the coaches and everybody trust you to play. I think that's the role that he'll take on tomorrow. I still think, and I'll ask you this. If he is out there and he's 25%, 30%, 40%, do you still expect Najee Harris to be super effective? Because at this point in the season, he has been. Even when he's done nothing, he's done a lot.
I think at least having him in the game over the other running backs, it'll help kind of keep the Kansas City Chiefs defense just a little bit more honest in terms of what they want to do. But I think even at like 40 or 50%, Najee is still probably a better running back than Benny Snell or Kalen Ballage or Anthony McFarland, any of those guys. If the Steelers didn't feel that way, they wouldn't have went out and spent a first round pick on the running back. It's it's how it is. I think the worst he can do is try to play him. And if he can't go during the game, he can't go. It's totally fine, bro. You try to go out there, you gave it your all. Whatever you try to do didn't pan out. Cool. You know what? You got 9 months off. We'll see you sometime soon. Go take care of yourself. But at least take into the game. At least try to go out there and at least try to do something. And if you can't, then you want more power to you. I respect you for at least going out there and trying.
What about to the people who will say, yeah, well, you can't hurt him. He's a rookie. You need him for the future.
And that's such flawed thinking. If this was week 1 and they were trying to ram him into a very bad Steelers offensive line 30 times, sure, because doing that over and over again down the road will get him hurt and will kind of slow him down. Look what happened to Le'Veon Bell. That dude touched the ball 400 times and then went and got a smaller bag than he could have gotten in Pittsburgh and with the New York Jets, and then just collapsed. That dude looked to nothing like the running back he was in Pittsburgh. I don't think that's going to happen with Najee, but the point being is that eventually these guys are going to wear out, and it's kind of just the life of a running back. But you're in the playoffs, and if the Steelers lose this game, they don't play another game for, like I said, 9 months, 8 or 9 months at the very, very least. I know they have offseason activities, they have training camp, they have training camp, whatever you want to call it. That they'll be working out in some capacity, but my point is they have time to heal. Yeah. Now is the time to push those boundaries. Now is the time to try to come back from those injuries. And you know what? If I just don't foresee a scenario where there is a career-altering injury happening. Because if Najee goes out and something happens to him, that injury happened last week, and that was just Najee or the Steelers trying to push the button a little bit and try to make sure he comes back for a playoff game. Now, I know a lot of people are going to debate, it's Kansas City Chiefs. You're probably not going to beat them anyway. You should save Najee. I think that is extremely flawed thinking from somebody who does think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. I think that at this point in the season, it's play all. We just talked about JuJu being 50, 60% playing a football game. I don't think that you even come close to arguing that. If somebody could play right now in an NFL season, you play. It's not an NFL season anymore. This is the playoffs.
Yep, playoffs.
It's go big or go home. And if Najee doesn't play, you just might as well go home. Because at that point, it's over. Before we get into bets, or not our bets, our picks here, JuJu plays above 50%. Najee Harris has a full day of practice, feels good to go, ready to sling it. Does that move your needle?
It makes me feel a little bit better about the Steelers at least trying to keep pace with Kansas City's offense. I think it's all going to come down to the Steelers defense and exactly how effective they can be and limiting guys like Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Bad news for the Steelers is that those guys both play positions where the Steelers are kind of hurting right now. I don't trust anybody in the Steelers secondary to cover Tyreek Hill. I don't trust anybody in the Steelers linebacker group to cover Travis Kelce. I don't trust any safeties to cover Travis Kelce. And as he's proven,
I don't trust anybody in the league to cover
yeah, I was
Travis
about
Kelce.
to say, there's nobody in the league really that can do it on a consistent basis. So kind of like a pick your poison thing. I think the Steelers are going to have to be very opportunistic with, those like 3 or 4 balls a game that Patrick Mahomes tries to force into windows. I'd love to see Minka come up with a big play. I'd love to see hopefully Caleb Witherspoon come up with a big play. And then obviously TJ Watt's, going to have to do his thing. And, Alex Highsmith is going to have to hold up his end of the bargain on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage as well. But just in terms of the overall scope of the offense, yeah, I do feel a lot better about the Steelers. But in the grand scheme of things, I think really the onus of the game will come down on the Steelers defense.
Yeah, I agree. But people got to remember, TJ Watt did not play a full game against Kansas City last time. He was dealing with some injuries. That could be a game changer. People don't realize that Terrell Edmonds is playing really well at this point in the season. And Kello Witherspoon was just kind of getting started. I mean, he wasn't doing much against Kansas City, but he was just kind of getting started. So the Steelers defense has made strides. Great strides, no. Against the run, terrible. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire might not play either, so could be a boost for the Steelers, who are just grossly overlooked in this game by Vegas. And we always say Vegas knows something we don't know. I think this case, Vegas knows everything we know, and they are just riding the wave of the Pittsburgh Steelers are about to get annihilated at Arrowhead. They head into the weekend 12.5-point dogs. 12.5-point dogs. The Eagles are the biggest underdogs after that at 8.5 points to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 12, I don't know if you heard me, 12.5-point dogs. This is the playoffs. That's rough. Do you think they beat it? You think that they cover the spread? What do you got here? 12.5-point dogs, 46-point over-under.
I really want to emphasize I have been dog water at picking specifically Steelers games this year. So yeah, I want to just throw that out there before whatever is about to come out of my mouth. I do think they cover that 12.5, but I think the Chiefs end up winning the ball game.
Do they get the over-under of the spread or the 46?
46 is an interesting number.
That could come down to whether or not.
I can't picture this game being a shootout, bro. I can't.
Yeah, but Kansas City put up – they covered the 46-point spread last time, and they scored 10 points. They scored 10 points. You got them in 12.5, though. I kind of agree. I don't agree, but I do agree at the same time. Like 12.5 feels like a good number. This could easily be a 2-touchdown game that feels a lot closer than the score says it is. But I'm going to give the Steelers the benefit of the doubt because this is the playoffs, and I don't think anybody gets blown out in the playoffs. It just doesn't happen. Like, this is the NFL postseason. Miracles happen. The Steelers have pulled this off. Eli Manning, okay? It's not even the Steelers. People try to use, the 05 Pittsburgh Steelers. Eli Manning beat Tom Brady not once, but twice with teams that had no business being in the They
were good teams. Those were good teams, dude. Good defenses. They had good defenses and they could run the football. And they had pretty solid receiving corps too.
David Tyree was a stud, let me tell you. Stud.
Victor Cruz, Mario Manningham. For that specific team you're talking about, they had the Earth, Wind, and Fire backfield. Come on.
No.
Bro, that team made it to the Super Bowl.
I'm sorry, but no. They made it to the Super Bowl a lot. That's my point, dude.
No bad team makes it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers are the team that should not be here, just like the New York Giants at one point were the team that should not be here. Randy, you're hella late, man. Hella late. but we'll hook you up. We just talked. You got to go back. We talked a lot about JuJu Smith-Schuster. But yeah, we don't know if he's going to play yet. The Steelers don't know if he's going to play yet. Our prediction is he plays.
He's going to play.
Feels like he's going to play. 12.5 points. Okay. I'm going to say the Steelers do cover the 12.5 points. I do not think this is, I think if the Steelers cover the 12.5 points, there is no possibility that the 46 hits. There's no possibility. Like the game has to be like 17-10 if the Steelers cover the spread.
It's going to be a game that ends up in a really weird score. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Score down. He's coming. I'm telling you, bro.
For what could be the last time, and we've said this twice now. It feels really good to be able to say it twice. What's your final score prediction here, Donnie? Wild card weekend, baby.
I'll go.
Trying to keep it below.
I'll go. Nah, because all right, final 27-16. That's my final score.
27-16.
I think either Tyreek or Kelsey's going to be in for a big day and grab multiple touchdowns. So we'll see.
That's a rough one. 27-16. 16 points is a lot for the Steelers, I feel like. 27-16. I don't feel good about that. I'm going to say 21-16. 21-16. Chiefs. Keeps it under, keeps it close. I think the Steelers defense is going to come off. Oh gosh.
Jesus, Nick.
Well, Nick just came in here 2 seconds before we left and just said, hey, let's just blow it up real quick here with a 20.5. Hopes are low. We just both said that the Steelers are going to cover the 12.5 point spread. Nick said not a chance. 21.5. At that point, you got to take the over-under because unless you're feeling just 21-0, which is a possibility. But Nick, sorry, man, you're wrong. You're wrong. And we're feeling real good about how wrong you are. What did I say? 21-16. Yep. You said 27-16. Mm-hmm. We got to remember these ones because this is where it's at. Nick, toss a final score prediction out here if you're still in here because you're out here with 20.5 point spread for no reason. We need something. There's no way. Could you imagine the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Arrowhead and lose by 21 points?
I can.
Is that the worst way for Ben Roethlisberger to go out? I don't think it matters at this point, but like are you even disappointed?
Let's put it this way. I would rather lose to the Chiefs by 20 than what happened last year against the Browns in a wild card. I'd rather that happen.
I agree on that one. All right. Nick's out here 34-17.
That's not covering the alt spread, bud.
Yeah, that doesn't even cover 20.5. What are you doing? You're out here throwing the Chiefs alternative spread, and then you're coming up with a final score prediction that doesn't cover the alternative spread of 20.5. Not good. Not good. Steelers 12.5. Hammer it down. We both agree on that one. Donnie's been trash at picking the Steelers. I don't remember if I've been trash at picking the Steelers, but I feel like I've been all right. I started real hot, gotten progressively a little bit lower, but so have the Steelers. Remember, nobody's bad in the playoffs. Nobody at all. Oh, did he switch it? Tough times for Steelers fans. That's how we're ending this one. Yep. We appreciate everybody for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check out your favorite podcast hosts on Twitter at Noah Strack, at Donnie Droon, and use our promo code at manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping. That's promo code All Steelers. We will be back tomorrow, Friday, with Derek the Kid. We'll see you then.